Like, you can't argue for less. You can't argue that you want less variation than go best of one.
You being on the side of defending your take when you obviously don't know anything about
I'm nailing this. You guys are wild. You want it to be faster.
George, hey.
So you guys know I'm sick, but these will make me feel instantly better and cure my kind of congestion. Is that right, Louis?
That's right. That's right.
Okay. I think the spicy one to do it. Oh, are you filming again? I'm sorry. Whoa. Welcome to MetaZoo Be With You, America's most plague-filled TCG podcast, where we still have a sponsorship. Week 2, baby. All thanks to you guys, my loyal listeners. Thank you very much, man of the people. And I'm, of course, joined by the man whose goat got swept by a team that's about to get swept. Josh!
Oh, is this
a Taylor Swift thing still?
No, it's basketball.
No, basketball. LeBron James.
Yeah, nobody's watching basketball anymore, but it's fine.
Everybody's watching basketball still. You're watching hockey.
And my team won, baby.
Hockey.
You're joined by the guy who can't watch his hockey team.
I'm joined by the man, the only person in America who is Team Kim Kardashian.
I don't even know the beef. I just like piss you off.
You picked this side last week.
I just like to piss you off.
Wasn't Kim Kardashian on that roast of Tom Brady?
Yeah,
she got booed off the stage.
I fell asleep to the first hour of that last night. That
is brutal. George, we're gonna do that with you, just so you know.
It was
a roast episode would be so.
Yes, we're doing that with you. Yeah,
it was another perfect pick by Louis, where like he picks something, the next week it gets booed off stage and dies. It's another perfect pick by Louis.
And we're joined by the plague himself, George.
Yeah, I should add the sickness part's not part of the promo. It now is.
You have no kids. You have no reason to be sick. You're an adult without kids. You have no reason to be sick.
That's true.
I've been rolling this week.
We are sponsored this episode. This whole month is sponsored by Booster Snacks. You can go to boostersnackus.com and check out Booster Snacks. They told us that
I want a discount. Louis, can you give me a discount on this?
You can if you use the code collect50. Collect50.
Is that like 10% off or something stupid?
No, that's bull crap.
No, 10%.
You'll get 50% off.
No way. That must be a typo.
No, it's not. And I highly recommend that you mix the two together to get the ice and fire.
I will say that is clutch. I will say that is clutch.
Real talk, though. Real talk. Josh, I need to be able to see your face for this part. I am almost done with my case, and this case was supposed to last us for the whole month. So I'm a little frustrated by it because I
should have negotiated better and gotten 2 cases.
This is going to be a spicy podcast because you're already stealing my take. I'm concerned about the longevity of my case of chips, and that says more about me than it does about the case of chips.
You can absolutely buy more at Collect 50.
I know. I'm going to buy this week.
Yeah, I'm going to have to.
That's their big brain strat.
I've got my chips in the garage, and like I'm out there hanging out with my kids. I'm just gonna pop open a bag of chips, and then my kids want them, so I end up eating 2 bags of chips. But it's a whole thing. They're delicious. You also get really cool rewards.
You get dust rewards.
You get dust. We're gonna talk about the sorcery dust codes, but
we're gonna have a spoiler for the for the booster snacks.
Are they gonna give us a spoiler? Is that what you're saying?
If not, we should revolt.
You eat snacks, you earn points, and you get packs.
There's last company to give me a spoiler that did real well that relationship. So I think it's time to reignite it.
So go buy some booster snacks and use that code collect50 to save 50% off. All right, here's what we're talking about on the podcast today. We got a hodgepodge of Magic topics. It's going to be 4 topics. They resolve around a little bit like Secret Lair.
Resolve around
and
brain strats.
It resolves like a magic spell and magic in Japan, conversations like that. We're going to talk about sorcery being dust. Sorcery is dust today on Friday. We're going to talk about the Lorcana tournament and predict all the things. And then we have a special guest for the MetaZoo Minute.
Don't tell them who it is. It's a very special guest that we will only announce at the time of the airing.
His name might start with an M. And it might end. I don't know. Who knows? It might. It might. It probably doesn't.
It probably doesn't.
But it might. Somebody on who's going to talk about why they still collect MetaZoo, and then we're going to speculate about some of the rumors going on. We told you guys when there's MetaZoo news, we will talk about it.
Screw you guys. I don't need any excuse to talk about MetaZoo. It is the juiciest tea in the TCG world right now,
and nobody cares about it. But we're going to talk about it.
This is
in a week where nothing's happening. It kind of is.
Yeah,
this is amazing tea.
All right. Speaking of nothing happening, let's chat about magic topics. So magic. I want to just start off with this. This is kind of interesting. This Did you guys see the Meg? Yeah. Is it Magna?
Yeah,
how do you pronounce it?
Manga?
Yeah,
manga.
I think it's manga.
Are you trying to pronounce manga?
Yeah, I don't read.
Yeah. Yes, he is.
I can't tell you how much this does.
There's not a ton of letters in that one.
Yeah. I can't tell you how much.
I would have accepted manga.
So I didn't know this existed, but I actually am pretty interested in it. There is a original Japanese manga called "Destroy All Humans, They Can't Be Regenerated," a Magic the Gathering manga, and apparently this is coming to American release with promo cards, with an exclusive card in fall 2024. I think that's kind of cool.
I think it's great. We've talked about Magic the Gathering. They should do more stuff like this. This is a big win.
Mm-hmm. This is the type of stuff that I think could. What?
Can I ask you guys a dumb question?
Yeah,
that's all you do, baby.
So
explain to me your excitement. I'm a little lost on this.
Not me, but other people really, really enjoy books that read from the back to the front for some reason, and that is what a manga is. That is what a manga is.
No, it's left to right, right to left.
Right to left.
It reads back to front, doesn't it?
Talk about the Jewish text.
Oh, whatever. And I think that there's actually a cool like subgroup of like nerd culture that will see this and get into Magic the Gathering as a result. I think it actually is it's a big win for Magic, I think.
Listen, we want Magic to constantly expand and tell its story, and we want them to use the Magic IP.
Are
they telling their story?
That it's their story that much, to be honest, Josh.
I thought it was
the picture of it. It's like a Japanese girl singing in a microphone. No,
yeah, but I thought it was. Maybe I'm wrong. I thought it was set in the universe. I thought it was supposed to be like a sub story and stuff like that. In the
Lady Gaga telephone song is a
judging by the card, the thing, and the guy playing a Magic the Gathering card in the background. I'm guessing it's like a story about people playing Magic the Gathering.
Oh, I misinterpreted that.
Yeah, I think you did too.
Yeah,
but
fair enough.
Regardless of what it is, I don't think this is a story about Karn destroying the world and the Gatewatch.
That would be a win.
That would be a win. I think that this can be a cool win for the subculture of people in the nerd community who like that stuff, and it could bring more people to Magic. And I always say anything that brings more people to Magic, I think is a big win.
Well, with a deeper understanding, that's not a win then. I don't like this nearly as much as I did when I misunderstood it. I'm going to go back to misunderstanding.
George nailed it.
It was way better when I thought it was something actually cool.
George nailed it in the comment section. /hashtag George gets a man of the people.
When I thought it was something cool, I was all in. The idea of telling the Magic the Gathering story to a new audience, maybe bringing their interest in and expanding on the IP, digging into the world building, that's cool. This, not so cool.
What I guess, like, Louis, do you think somebody's going to be like, I don't like Magic the Gathering. I like reading mangas. I will read this manga and start learning Magic the Gathering? Is that like the...
I think there's like people who like manga who...
I think that's true. So far, we're on the same page.
Just find
they don't have anything.
They don't know Magic the Gathering, and they will find Magic the Gathering and get into it.
Yeah.
I think that's a cool thing. Do I think this is going to triple the Magic the Gathering population?
I think it's going to quadruple it.
I don't. I think that it's a cool win, and I think they should do more. And apparently, it's been pretty successful in Japan. So,
is it 6 years old over there?
Nothing anybody says about how big their game is in Japan ever, unless you're Yu-Gi-Oh or Pokemon. You're lying about how big you are in Japan.
Josh, this does go right into what you wanted to talk about, which is like, is Magic growing in Japan?
Well,
what were your statistics that you brought up?
I don't know if it's growing in Japan, but we looked at that list where they were the number 6 TCG. Oh, that was a good open. Wow. That was a good crack. That was a good one. They were the number 6 TCG, and they have been printing the anime special foils, anime cards in a couple sets. They're doing a Cowboy Bebop crossover. They're now bringing this to the States.
The Cowboy Bebop. Do you guys get that? Do you guys know what that is?
Yeah. So I asked. No. Shout out!
I got wrecked on a White Schwartz or a MHA set or something for it a while ago from my stupid rep.
I asked the opinion of a massive Cowboy Bebop fan, aka my brother, because I know nothing about it, literally at all. But he is like super fan. And he's like, it's the anime for people who are trying to get into anime. It's like your gateway anime.
So a 40-year-old
the
female,
marijuana of animes.
a 40-ish. I'm guessing she's 40. If she watches this podcast and she's like 33 or something, I apologize. It's not my fault. I don't do age. Anyway, a 40-ish female came up to me at the shop who plays our board game night. She doesn't she doesn't play Magic.
This is wild.
She's just board game night person.
Did you ask you about Cryptic? Was that one of the three conversations?
She was like, hey, she was like, yeah, I want to talk about Cryptic. No, she was like, hey, are you going to get those Japanese or the Cowboy Bebop cards? And I was like, they are exclusive to the standard showdown. You have to play in our event to get them. And she was like, well, can I just pay you for them? I was like, no, you have to play in the standard event to get them. And she was like, well, like, can I play in the event? I was like, you can. Have you ever played Magic? And she was like, no. I was like, well, let me teach you. And she's like, no, I don't actually want to play. I just want to buy the cards. I was like, well, unfortunately, you're going to have to sponsor.
Growing by leaps and bounds, it sounds like.
She goes like this. This is what she said. She goes, okay, I want to pay for everybody's ticket that day for entry. And so she's going to sponsor. She's going to like that Thursday. I'm going to be like, hey, if anybody wants to play for free, it's covered. And you got to give your prize support to her. Because they don't care about the cards.
That's wild.
I don't get it, to be honest. Why is this not a secret layer?
Well, that I don't know. This is why I pose the question: are they directly targeting their share of TCGs in Japan? Because you have to play in the standard showdown here, but over there you have to spend what, 20,000 yen or like $20
like
or something.
$14.
Yeah, you have to spend like $14 and you get a card
in Japan.
Right, and it's pretty heavily celebrated right now. The release of these cards.
It's huge. It's apparently massive. I just don't understand why it's not a secret layer. That's what I don't get.
For what it's worth, I think that like they're not. I think people have overread the Japanese numbers. Like they did a poll 2 years ago, and it was the same thing basically. Like the sales statistics basically have not moved in 2 years. Some of the newly dead TCGs went off, and the soon to be dead TCGs went on. But like Magic was like number 5 or 6 then. Pokemon and Yu-Gi-Oh were like way up there.
Well, Yu-Gi-Oh is just insane.
Yeah,
over there.
I don't think you're touching.
When we talked about this last week, right? Where like you have this huge.
Shout out to our Yu-Gi-Oh fans in the comment section.
Yeah,
again,
they were stoked to see them. They were all like, "Oh my gosh, they're talking about Yu-Gi-Oh finally."
Yeah, I mean, I'm convinced that Japan only plays Pokemon. They only play Pokemon and Yu-Gi-Oh, and everything else is just like, hey, remember that dead card game?
Yeah. You can't convince me that, Wizards of the Coast, this company that we say over here is just trying to milk every dollar out of everything, trying to push the numbers, does not see an untapped market in Japan. It is not making moves and doing things to try to attract that group of humans.
I suspect that's true. What I don't think we know is how big the market is overall. Like that's kind of always like the thing that I think gets left out of this. Is this like, again, like somebody messaged me saying this indie TCG was like number 17. It's like, I got you. We are big in Japan. And I'm like, you guys are probably like the 17th biggest TCG and like the 10th biggest market. Like, congratulations, bust out that champagne.
Yeah, and like that, the other thing is like they may have a lot of players and that kind of thing, but the amount of spend per person I think is lower for that culture than a U.S. culture where like. In my video today, I said we're all degenerates. We just like
well, that part's true. You could tell me a story. I see what you're saying, but you can tell me a story where the top of that chart, slot 1 and 2, slot 1, 2, and 3, do make an amount of money that doesn't double the size of your company. It doesn't move the needle off the chart, but it's meaningful. Now you're
that could be
5, 6, 7, 8. I see what you're saying, right? You're not moving the needle, but I'm sure Wizards of the Coast wants to get close to cracking that top 3 in that market.
But keep in mind, like a lot of Japanese Pokemon makes it to the land of freedom too. Like that, like, there's 2 problems with Japanese Pokemon. First problem is just it's Disney of Japan, right? It has like their Pikachu is our Mickey, and it has a ton of goodwill built into the character. People love the character.
I want to go to Japan so bad.
They have stuff. You'd be finally at home. You'd have a game.
I want to go to Japan so bad. I think it would be so much fun to go to Japan and try to complete like a 150 Pokemon set at LGS.
We've talked about this before. We've talked about that video before. And so, I want
to do it.
And so, I think it's hard to take down Pokemon in Japan. Period.
Yeah, 100%.
Then you have you have cases and cases and pallets of Japanese Pokemon coming to the land of freedom. We stamp that American flag on it and triple the price. You're welcome. And like it's, that makes it really hard, I think, to move at least number 1 and probably number 2, but I don't know enough about Yu-Gi-Oh.
No, I don't think they're going to move those two. But I mean, just looking helicopter view, idiot in his basement. I look at that and I see there's space in Magic genre.
Yeah.
It's more of a player's game. It's a fantasy game. Doesn't really, it's not directly tied to the anime that Pokemon or whatever. Is Pokemon an anime? I don't even. Yes, but the anime that Pokemon and Yu-Gi are. You tell me that there's space for that in that market. Now, again, the argument becomes, is that meaningful? Like you take up that space, you slot into number 3, you do all this work. What's the return on that?
Yeah, I think there's like a difference in like the geek culture of Japan and United States too. Like we like the high fantasy, like swords and knights, and like it seems like there's a more like gravitation towards like futuristic anime type stuff. Like Yu-Gi-Oh is like, it's just different. Like it's not like the high fantasy setting that has captured the hearts of America for 30 years.
Sure, but there's a significant portion of the American market that feels, the opposite way, right?
Yeah,
and
as technology, as our world is becoming more connected, that's obviously evolved.
I think there's space in Japan for Magic because it's such a player's game, right?
I think that's true.
And you can start tapping into some of that. I think you get more Magic cards in more hands, and you're a happy camper.
What I don't know is like it feels like maybe Yu-Gi-Oh has that market right now. Like I am so 100%. Far. Like that is a guess of a country.
No, I think that's a safe. I think
there's also so many other card games that exist there. That what's the Magic Light version that's basically over there?
Oh, I know what you're talking about. I don't know the name of it.
Oh my gosh, it's bad. Anyway, that's pretty popular too. So you're competing with Magic and what the heck is that? This is bad. We should know. I literally have a card in the other room. I could just grab it right now. But you have like Magic and Magic Light that you're competing with. But yeah, anyway.
So I think Wizards of the Coast is kind of tipping their hand a little bit, saying, "Hey, we care about this." Now, whether we can argue all day if they should, if it's meaningful.
Dual Masters.
Nice, nailed it.
Dual Masters.
But they're tipping their hand, saying we do care about this. I mean, look at the secret layer drop coming up. The spring super drop, one of the headline items in the spring super drop is, I believe, a VTuber singer artist based out of Japan.
It's so random.
But they're screaming from the top of the hills that they care about this.
Yeah.
In my opinion. I mean, look at the major foils out of Wilds of Eldraine. Yeah.
Yeah. All their fans have been tweeting.
What was an expensive Japanese card that was the one in
the Japanese Liliana? We did this on my stream. My stream last night, we did a hunt for the Japanese Liliana.
Somebody get it?
Nobody got it. We did 2 boxes.
That's a card that
it's like a $3,000 card. The foil one.
Yeah, like I would tell. Like, it also seems like that's an actually rare card.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Yeah. In foil, it's incredibly rare.
No complaining. That market doesn't complain. They like rare stuff. They like chasing stuff down, man. I dig it.
I think there's a lot of United States people who are looking for that too.
But the United States people complain. Make a YouTube video about how Magic should be collectible, and look at your comment section. Trust me.
There's only that's fair. There's only 7 available.
I suggested some Magic cards shouldn't cost 25 cents, and it was rough.
You suggested what?
Some Magic cards shouldn't cost 25 cents. They should be more expensive.
Dude.
It's rough.
Listen,
rough out there.
Those people hate my channel too. They have.
Most people do.
They keep coming back to mine and reminding me.
Dude, I don't get it. I don't either. I will never understand the idea that you want this hobby to be worthless. Like,
I don't either.
Like, go get a boat, right? Like, if you want something to be worthless, go get a boat. Like, you'll just lose
he's
money.
Right.
You buy a boat, you lose all your money.
He nailed
instantly.
It. This man just nailed it.
You want a hobby that will
you can tell you clearly don't own a boat. Look at you and your financial freedom not owning boats.
Yeah. I don't own a boat either, but my dad has spent his retirement on boats multiple times. So
I was reminded how many cars I own. I can't own a boat. I got roasted.
Why do you have more than one car? Like, what's the point of having more than one car?
I like classic project cars. They make me smile.
I feel like if you're gonna do classic project cards, you should probably limit yourself to one. Like,
but then
finish the project.
Yeah, but then you get a really good deal on another one. You just can't pass it up, man. Just can't pass it up.
I like that, Josh. I like that.
Next time I'm in Chicago, Josh, remind me. I'll introduce you to one of my donors who has like an incredible classic car collection.
Oh, I don't want to be put to shame. I'm just a guy in his garage with some. Yeah,
I made the terrible mistake of bringing a car person to meet him. And like I had to like pick her jaw up off the floor the entire hour-and-a-half tour of all of his cars. You know what you just saw? I'm like, I saw cars and it smells like oil and I want to go home.
This is what we're gonna do. I'll tour all of his cards and he can come to my garage. I'll show him my 2 and we can have a beer. It'll be gorgeous.
He likes beer.
And we'll do a burnout. It'll be fun.
All right. Speaking of secret layers, did you guys see the absolute worst secret layer ever made?
Of course, but just for those who didn't see it, why don't you remind them?
It's in the Discord, and they basically took the words for Magic cards and they made it into the meme words and have like the letters capitalized in between, alternating a capitalization. And then they didn't do anything.
I love you just put Reddit links in the Discord. It is my favorite thing about when you do the topics.
Then you can look at the topics.
It is just like 8chan.
All right,
8chan Magic FUD.
There's nothing to talk about in Magic.
There is
we deserve.
I scraped the bottom of the barrel. First of all, that taking over Japan topic that you guys poo-pooed, I'm going to make a whole video on that because I think it's such a good discussion.
I did not poo-poo any topic.
I didn't poo-poo either. We're literally.
You definitely poo-pooed it.
No, you definitely pooed it.
I said I don't think it's that good of an idea.
Hey, swear on the booster snacks that you didn't.
I said,
don't do it. Don't
think it's
we'll take away the sponsorship.
Word for word, what I said was, I don't think it's that great of a topic, but all my topics suck too. So that's word for word.
It sounds like you poo-pooed it and your topics.
Not my topics. I noticed.
This is the worst secret layer ever. But this means you should buy it. Like, this is my take on secret layers. When it's awful, buy the hell out of it. Like, just buy the hell out of it.
I nailed it.
Oh, there's a typo in the text?
Yeah, well, so then they also screwed up the text and they made a typo in the text of Doomblade.
So is that the real font?
That's the real font.
That's it. You're looking at the real secret layer.
Here's the problem.
Is this, hold on. Is this what we've been waiting for?
What do you mean?
Is this the Magic the Gathering X MetaZoo crossover we have been asking for?
This is my point.
Forever?
This is my point.
Is this it?
If this secret layer had like really goofy meme artwork, like if this secret layer was like Doomblade, and it was a meme, that would be freaking so funny. I would legitimately want those cards. But instead, it's like meme text with like legitimately interesting, high fantasy artwork, and it just doesn't fit. It does not.
Doesn't fit.
It does not work. It
doesn't
looks
fit.
stupid.
You must have quit.
You had a whole conversation about high fantasy this week. You've thrown that out there like 3 times, haven't you?
Yeah, dude.
Louis has been big on themes lately. Man of the People was the big theme the last couple of weeks. Now it's fantasy.
When have you ever been a man of the people?
Hold on, comrade.
So, you know what's bad about this secret layer? Everyone complained about it. Everyone roasted it. I looked at it. I go, as far as secret layers go, I don't even hate it like that much. I just hate most secret layers so much that this one didn't jump off the page.
Secret layers by far my least favorite thing about Magic the Gathering. I would rather also. There's 2 things: no MSRP and secret layer. And honestly,
what about the Hidden Realms? Whatever the hell it was called, the crossover sets, the IP crossover.
Universes Beyond, nailed it.
Universes Beyond.
Gotcha.
No, I told you guys I've accepted that. If I had to pick, if I was in a room, with 1 bullet, and there's 2 things in the room, and it was no MSRP and secret layer, I don't know what I would do.
All right, you could get rid.
Okay, decide. I would try to line them up so I could get them both
right through the neck, like Dwight Schrute says.
Different. No bullets. You get to pick one thing that isn't in Magic the Gathering anymore. You get secret layers. You can add MSRP, or you can remove Mark Rosewater's aunt from Magic the Gathering and all of her.
Don't do it. No. She's the glue that binds all this together.
Hold on. That's why I said no bullets, because I know where Louis would go with it, and I'm cutting him off right now. I'm saving his channel. I really like the booster snacks. Okay, I'm saving this channel.
I think secret layer. I think I would take MSRP out. I want MSRP back.
Secret layer.
I do.
Secret layer, sneaky collectible.
I don't have to sell at MSRP, but if they have an MSRP that they stick to as a company, and they don't,
that's a different discussion.
That's the discussion I'm having.
But like they can have MSRP of 1,000.
The one MSRP that only they have to abide by.
They could have MSRP of 1,000, and they could sell it at $4. Like, are you?
No, but like, so I want them to stick to MSRP. That's what I want them to do.
Okay. That's a more reasonable request from somebody.
Yeah, like I want them to have an MSRP and stick to it. If they're going to sell direct to consumer, they should sell their collector boxes for $400.
They don't sell direct to consumer. They go through Amazon, though, right?
That is direct to consumer. Does not start this again.
You can't prove it. You can't prove it.
And also, one of your games loves selling direct to consumer and gives promos for that.
I don't know what you're talking about. What game does
Pokemon?
Yeah, that's fair. At least they sell at MSRP and they're upfront about it.
Just like Lorcana. But no,
I don't care if you screw me, but just tell me that you're screwing me.
Listen, nobody's buying Pokemon at MSRP anyway. So, Rudy did a video this week on Pokemon pumping. Made you guys look bad. He said in the video.
Hold on, time out. When is Rudy right? When is Rudy right and when is Rudy wrong?
He goes, I'm the only YouTuber on YouTube who's been talking positive about Pokemon. He goes, well, maybe there's one other person. I was like, Rudy watches the podcast. He knows. Me and Rudy, baby. Team Pokemon.
There's too much dirty laundry here. Let's move on.
All right. Anything else from Magic that we were going to talk about? Manga, Japan. Oh, collector decks. So Josh said, first set we've seen in a while were collector decks and collector box. Well, the existence.
All right, hold on. Whoa. I literally gave you a note synopsis. If you're gonna read a note synopsis, it's not gonna do anything. Just ask me.
I love that you're reading what Josh wrote in the text versus being paid. Josh, explain what you're saying.
Every time I say that, he goes, "You put me on the spot."
Hold on. How do you not
put me on the spot?
When you come up with a topic that you don't outline for anyone and go, hey, Josh, what do you think about this cryptic topic? That's putting me on the spot.
This random Pokemon price at this week.
I'll eat my booster snacks.
You know how much this one Pokemon box has gone up in 15 years? It's $6 more, baby. Pumping.
I'm in.
The concept is that Modern Horizons 3 in this ecosystem, we have collector commander decks, normally featuring crazy foils, but we also have collector booster boxes. So how is that going to work? It's the first time we're seeing a deck that's supposed to have all of the special treatments and a booster box that's supposed to have all the special treatments. Are we going to devalue the collector deck, or are we going to devalue the collector box, or are they actually going to be unique things in the collector deck? Or are we going to
get 5 of each?
Well,
that's my speculation, is that we're going to get 3 of each product.
Sure, but if Commander drives all of Magic, and you can get all of the special fancy cards in the collector deck, you don't have to crack collector booster packs.
I don't think they're going to print enough to affect price of either. To be honest, that's my gut. I don't know. I hope I'm wrong.
Not even price, just like the experience. Doesn't that feel like a bit of a walkover?
No, I think that's fair.
You know my hot take? Collector decks are their way to be able to reprint a collector product in this set. They can't reprint the collector boxes. They know the demand's gonna be crazy, but they can't reprint the collector boxes because of the serialized cards.
I don't know. The collector decks are expensive.
And they're gonna limit them at the beginning, and then they're gonna have a huge wave of them again, and they're gonna have another wave of them again.
It's pretty funny that I just had this handy then.
Yeah, they're gonna be basically I mean, listen,
they were small waves.
The demand for a collector commander deck is very small.
It is
very small.
It is the least sold product as from on TCG Player for Modern Horizons 3, and it's not close. And that makes sense.
I know my store doesn't count because I'm in West Virginia, but nobody in my store.
Because you guys are still talking about Cryptic 3 times a week.
Nobody in my store.
That's the much bigger reason.
Nobody in my store has even asked me about the collector decks. They have no interest in them.
You're like, let's have our weekly Cryptic tournament.
Because there's not when you throw a crappy foil on something, and it's the search foil. I assume is what they're going to do here, right? That's got to be the.
I'm a confetti.
I thought there was a new. They were introducing a new foiling.
I'm positive it'll be new.
Ooh, another new foil. Unless it's all etched, unless it's all textured foil, I don't think this matters. If it's all textured foil cards, I'm in. I am in the textured foil cards.
What a wild commander deck.
The textured foil cards are so freaking cool. I wish they had different arts on all of them, but I think the texture foil is the way they should go with things.
Well, that's funny that you say that, Louis, because if you're looking to build a collection with unique arts that Wizards of the Coast really has no reason to reprint again, there's a program called Secret Lair that you can turn to, and you can actually buy these cards, add them to your collection, and have yourself a unique piece of Magic the Gathering art.
All right, let's put a bet on something. Do we or do we not ever get a Secret Lair? What did they used to call the reprint thing? Anthology. Do we ever get a Secret Lair anthology that's like a box set of $1,000, $2,000, whatever it is, a box set of every Secret Lair card printed?
Wait, of every Secret Lair card ever printed?
Well, I don't know, like some sort of anthology set or something.
Answer,
like
no. Super easy. No. We're not getting every Secret Lair card ever printed in a single set.
I think we
That's
get
a
a
lot of
booster.
cards.
I think we get a booster box that's like Secret Lair anthology. It's like randomized Secret Lair packs.
That'd be awesome. That'd sell.
Yeah.
They would sell a crap ton of them.
Yeah. And that would be a really cool product.
It wouldn't go to, it would just be direct to consumer. But
I think what product has been direct to consumer before?
every
But also-
Secret Lair ever.
What booster box?
Like the point is that it's Secret Lair.
The convention edition collector booster boxes now that you buy in every Secret Lair.
Yeah, I mean, like they don't. I mean, they don't have a lot.
And every product they've ever sold on Amazon, which is direct to consumer. Just because you
can't-
refuse to admit it,
You can't prove it. You can't prove it. You can't
There's
prove
like two
it. Prove
ways
it.
that
Oh,
it's
you can't prove it.
sold on Amazon, and
You can't
it's
prove it.
being sold from the Magic the Gathering store on Amazon.
But
So it's pretty
it's
obvious.
on Amazon doesn't mean it's exclusive to DTC. Like, I mean, like I think we'd get that box if they make that box. I think stores would get it.
Oh, all right, George, I'm out. I don't think so.
If
they make
stores
that box,
get it,
I don't think so.
if they make
think
that
so.
box and stores get it, that's cool. If they
I
make
think-
that box and stores don't get it as well.
I think new Cynthia Williams says, no way. Tendies for me, baby.
Cynthia Williams, she gets it.
We should have followed that story a little bit. Okay. Anything else to chat about?
She's still not there. We followed it.
I know.
Yeah,
I want to know where she
who's-
goes. Where
who's to
where'd she go
replace her?
next?
Yeah, you didn't follow her on LinkedIn. I sent her a connection request.
No, you
and
didn't.
She didn't. She was like, no.
I 100% could see that.
Why would I do that? I don't know when the last time I logged into LinkedIn was.
Yeah, I don't do LinkedIn.
When
know
I was
that
a super like young programmer, I was on LinkedIn all the time because recruiters would spam you, and I was like, "Give me the spam, baby. Put me in any interview room that you want, anywhere in the country. I'll take it. I don't care."
All right, let's move on to Sorcery. Launching today. Oh, that's loud in my ear. Launching today is the Dust Store, the Dust Store rewards on Sorcery. So finally coming out.
Simon just salt bang it up everywhere. That's like in my head. Simon's just
Yeah.
salt banging it everywhere.
Did Simon bless you with any extra dust for this announcement?
No, but I do have some scoopies. So really cool release here. A bunch of promo cards. I got a text from a guy who really wants the Pudge Butcher. He was like, how much are you gonna have enough for the Pudge Butcher? I was like, I'll have enough for a Pudge Butcher for you, dude. We'll get you a Pudge Butcher. I have so much dust. I have a lot of dust. I'm very excited about the Dust Store opening. A bunch of playmats. It's all the playmats that they did the serialized ones on a couple weeks ago where you guys made fun of me. They have those all available in non-serialized version on the Dust Store. And then they have
What a
t-shirts and
timeline.
hoodies. So I can't wait to rep a t-shirt and hoodie. Pretty cool. So Dust Store opened up, and that's sweet. So that's now available today. Couple things. First off, they are retroactively. This is Scoopy. They are gonna. It's kind of Scoopy.
This was announced in the Discord message. Not
It's
a great
Scoopy
scooping.
for you too.
George, that makes it a Scoopy. That literally makes it a Scoopy.
Yeah, that's what
This was
Scoopies
announced
are.
in the. If you want more of the scoopy, you can go to the official Sorcery Discord and read it there.
For you to jump on this is weird because this is your bread and butter.
That's true.
What do you mean?
I think that's fair. I think that's fair. But I got mocked for it.
Yeah, no.
Yeah,
This is Scoopy.
this is-
it's
yeah,
it's
I
a
like
George
this.
level Scoopy. That's
Yeah,
that's
I
the
think
def-
that's fair. As
that's
long
the
as you say it's
definition-
George level scoopy, I'm fine with it.
Here's a Scoopy, George. There's no Hawaiian shirt.
Ave Maria.
George, I'm taking down the sharks. It's fine.
So they're following the footsteps of MetaZoo and Cryptic, and not Pokemon or Lorcana.
Here's a
Simon,
real-
you're better than this.
Here's a real Scoopy. I had to make sure that I could say it. I said, "Do you have any Scoopies for me?" He said, "Yep. We will be introducing a very limited number of items from our previous inventory from time to time on the store." So, things that this tells me. Number one, the store is going to rotate. So I don't know. I'm not telling everybody to go out and buy a bunch of dust codes, crack them open, and make sure you get all the rewards right now. This might be the last chance ever to get this dust. No, to get these rewards. I think the rewards that they have up there, they'll probably have ample supply to last for a while on the dust store, because I think like, how many different promo cards can you really put out there? And I think they are a little cautious about that, especially that it's all hand painted art. Like them creating a promo card is expensive. Like they have to have a full art done and made, and it takes time and energy and resources and whatever. So I don't anticipate that they'll rotate out the promo cards a ton. But I think they will have some like limited merch and limited things up there. So I think there's reason to like refresh the dust store pretty often to see what else they put up. Like I think that's kind of cool. But what are your thoughts on the dust store, fellas?
What is one product that they don't have that they should have, do you think?
Hawaiian shirt.
What is the second product?
No, that's mine. I'm taking the Hawaiian shirt.
Josh?
It's got to be shark related. If one of those T-shirts doesn't have a shark on it, I'm out.
And this is why I carry the sponsorship. The thing they should have is booster snacks. They should be able to trade in a couple of hundred dust for a case of booster snacks. Now we're all getting some unison together.
There you go.
That would be, oh my gosh, what if the dust was universal? I suggest we use 1 week, and I got
We want credit if you guys sell any booster snacks through your website, though.
If you could use your booster snack dust for the sorcery store, that would sell a lot of booster snacks.
I said that was going to happen last week, and you told me, nope, no, it's not. No, it's not.
I'm just saying, they both use dust, both have promos, both have high collectability.
Louis, I haven't checked the store yet. Is there anything shark related?
There's nothing shark related. Sorry.
Why do you think they hate MetaZoo be with you?
All right. I want to have a legit conversation on this because this has added a pretty significant...
Can I answer George's question?
Yeah.
Because they're an indie TCG and we are not good for indie TCGs.
I think the store adds a significant amount of value to the box. What?
Can I answer your question?
Yeah.
By completely ignoring it and just making a statement, George, I knew he was going there. I was so ready for that. As soon as we heard the dust store, I knew it was going to come back to the value was added to the box. It came in. No, hold on, Boo Boo. Captain Defense. I know at post sorcery section, it's going to be all gone to hell.
I just want to have a discussion on it. I don't care if you're against it.
I didn't tell you you were right or wrong. I just said as soon as he posted about the dust, I'm like, this is going to equate to the value of the box. I didn't say you were right or wrong. I just said that was my first take.
How does this not add to the value of the box?
Well, the dust store has to be meaningful. First of all, people have to covet and want what's on the dust store. They have to do it in the long term, right? It can't just be the first week it's out, some hype going on, and then rarely check it again. Which, if it is a rotating schedule, does help people come back. I like that aspect of it.
And I'm proud of you for bearing the part that actually increases the value of the box, Louis. That's why I'm most impressed by your take. The part that I think actually matters is that they're making it so that people get dust for participating in tournaments.
Right.
There's one thing that Sorcery needs to do, and I think they know this. I think they're working on it. They need to get more players and more collectors. Like right now, it's a very small group of each, all selling back and forth to each other like every other indie TCG, all being like, oh, there's a secret reserve this time, guys. This one's not public. And like, you got to know the secret code to tell me how much this one's worth. Like we've seen the same kind of nonsense in basically every high-end indie TCG. If they're going to meaningfully increase the value of the box, and that value is going to hold, and the value is going to not just be another pump and dump like we've seen basically every indie TCG do.
God, who hurt you? Who hurt
every indie TCG? Every single indie TCG.
Podcast would have been so much better if you also went to therapy for your indie TCG.
No, it would not have been.
Record.
But like, if they're going to maintain value in their boxes, they have to bring in new blood. So that's the only way to get boxes stabilized.
They went through and they were retroactively giving people points for their games that they played.
I literally just said that's the best thing they're doing to increase the value of the box.
That's awesome.
And George, I do want to give Sorcery a bit of credit here because I stand on the same. We stand on the same Sorcery platform a lot, but we talked about how, or you just brought up these other TCGs. They have the secret cabals. that trade the high-end cards between one another. Louis been in several of them. Louis been king of a couple of them for a couple days at least. But Sorcery, to their credit, hasn't leaned into any of this. We've seen the other games lean into this. I'm not saying you said they did.
I think that's true.
I'm not saying you said they did. I just want to point out that to their credit, instead of leaning into this, they stood by their guns. I'm going to defend myself
because who you guys are comparing me to are people who have conversations with the owners of TCG companies to pump their own markets, and I have never had a conversation with an owner of a TCG company.
This is important for our friendship. This is important for our friendship. I would never compare to those people.
I would. He did, and I would. But I want to be crystal clear here. Like, my point was that I think like the best thing they're doing for the box price is using it to bring in more people. The price of the booster box today, Louis, makes zero difference. Maybe it goes up $50. Maybe it goes down $50. But like, you just said that increases the price of the booster box. It's literally what you said. It
adds value to the box. Well, my point of this, you're looking at it as short term as Louis is pumping the value of the boxes. My point is that this is like just like the Lost Caverns of Ixalan. For a store, I would loved that box. I could do so many different things with that box because of what it provided to me with the box stopper and the different parts in the box and everything that it had. Like, this is a value add that no other company is doing for their players, for their collectors, for their stores. No other company is adding value in a way like this, and I think it's a really cool thing. That's my point.
Literally what I said, that they're adding value.
You said that I'm pumping the boxes and trying to make them more.
And I get it, Louis. That's what you do best. I'm with you, buddy. Like,
you're the worst.
I think that like
there are way worse.
I also think that like the reason I'm not as convinced as you are that this is going to be like this moonshot moment for the box prices.
I never said it's going to be a moonshot moment for the box prices.
Yeah, isn't it annoying when someone does that to you, Louis?
Yeah, that's super annoying.
Yeah, it sucks. Yeah.
So the reason it's not a moonshot moment for the boxes is like Louis says.
Comparing me to our enemies too is also like the lowest thing.
I want you to know that's why I'm doing it. That's why I'm doing it, because I know how much it kills you.
Yeah.
So the reason it's not a moonshot moment like Louis obviously thinks it will be is because like we knew dust rewards were coming. It wasn't a oh my god, that's what the code on the bottom of the box for. So that we knew there was already some value in the box, on the box.
Because of the box.
Yeah, I mean, I agree with that. And in fact, I would go one step further. I think dust codes will go down in price now that the store is out.
I think it depends on what they put in there.
No, I think it will, because it's no longer the theoretical. Right, it's the actual.
Before they could have had Hawaiian shirts, they could have had sharks, they could have had anything.
They have now.
Oh my god! Can you imagine a T-shirt, a black T-shirt in tall, of course, with just the shark art on it? I don't know if I'd ever wear another T-shirt.
They should have just had a Hawaiian shirt with that on there. We could have worn it together.
What this does, what they do here, if you can now put a value on a dust code.
Yeah,
like you say a shirt is worth $30 or whatever you value a shirt, and you can equate that out to what a dust code is worth. So like inevitably this will in turn for a while.
We already have some values, right? The alpha box is already on there, but that's a pretty stable market. I don't think that's
out there.
Didn't you send me a screenshot of it in the dust store?
I sent you a screenshot that was like a booster box. It didn't say alpha box. I mean, what he just said in the thing, what I give you the scoop, he said that would be previous product, right? Alpha box. But like,
well, beta's previous product at this point too, right?
Right. I don't know.
That's how they should sell unlimited. You should only be able to get unlimited through dust codes.
White border dust codes.
The most limited product.
Yeah. That's
Simon, this is what you paid me for, baby.
Like, I think these promos will probably come out and people will spend too much money on the promos, and they'll erode in value.
I love that there's promos in there, by the way.
Depending on how long they stay up on the dust store, probably matters.
I love that there's promos in there, by the way. That's cool. That's something I wanted to see from the beginning. I love that.
I hope they don't do too many promos. I like the way that they're doing things like this. Like the Sorcerer was a box topper card, but it didn't have a back to it. So this is the foil one that has the full art on the back. So it's like cards, some of the cards, like the Rebel, we haven't seen a foil Rebel token. So it's like cards that you don't need because you have them, but it's like a cool variant of it. And then there's three artworks that are cool too. So
I'm not saying they should do mechanically unique cards in any way, but the fact that they're doing promos in there is a massive win. Listen, Sorcery is a wildly collectible game, right? And to have a new depth to that and to reward fans that are, kind of all in, baby, in different ways in the collectible fashion, that's a massive win. I love that there's promos on this store.
Yeah.
I mean, listen, I think Dust is a win. I mean I think you guys are sleeping on this. The best thing they're doing is the Dust for the stores and the players.
No one's sleeping on that. Nobody
sleeping on it. We all agree with that.
Louis was sleeping on it. Louis was sleeping on it.
I don't think he was. Louis is sleeping on nothing when it comes to people playing Sorcery. The guy's hosting massive Sorcery events.
Do not throw me in the bus. That's literally the first thing I started this with, and you told me, "Oh, that's announced in the Discord server. Everybody knows that already." And you poo-pooed it, and then you tried to steal it and paint it as your own take 30 seconds later.
That's fair.
I love that poop was a major part of this podcast today, by the way.
Louis goes in these phases of he can only use certain words. I think he only knows those certain words. It's like there's the brain cells, new words come in, old words go out. I do it too.
You're good, baby.
That's right.
Okay, that's true.
My daughters are calling each other poo-poo. They're like, poo-poo name. I don't know if I've ever said my daughter's names on the podcast. So whatever. I don't think it matters. Poo-poo Ava, right? That's what
we only called her little box set and little other box set,
and then they scream at each other and they're like, she called me poo-poo, and I'm like,
God, Little Kingdoms was the best name.
Oh my gosh, they do listen to the podcast. That's what we do. That's all we do.
Can I have wild speculation?
Baby, let's do it. Ban me. I'm in.
What is Sorcery? The second set's not actually Arthurian Legends, called Arthurian Legends.
God.
Oh my God, are you gonna steal that from my channel too?
Was it on your channel, Josh?
I broke the news about the second or the third release
about Monarch.
Yeah, I was the one that broke the news, and then Louis had a video.
It's the fourth release, by the way.
Yeah, whatever.
First release.
Who knows? But I broke that news. I was super proud of it, and then I looked at Louis' channel a couple minutes later, and he shot a video from a bathroom on his cell phone.
That follows.
I didn't steal your video though. Somebody else stole your video.
There was another creator that literally stole my video and just had it going on their channel, and I was like, oh, okay. Not the whole video, but when they were talking about it, they used my footage. I was like, oh,
yeah,
great.
With no credit.
No credit at all. Same sponsor, by the way. Eventually down the road.
Interesting.
What? All right. Wild world.
Airing your dirty laundry here. It's smelly, Josh. It's smelly.
That's because you're there.
Poo-poo. All right. I'm stoked for Dust Rewards. I am going to get, I don't know how much the stuff costs, but I'm hoping to be able to get a play set of each of the Dust Reward cards. That's my goal. That's what I'm spending my Dust on. I'm not spending my Dust on a booster box. I already had enough booster boxes. I want those promo cards.
No, you spend your Dust on the unique stuff that you can only get with Dust.
Heck yeah.
That's the way to go.
Yeah.
Well, that kind of describes the booster box right now.
Yeah. Plus, is there an infinite loop of getting boxes?
What's the economy? Did you break it? Did you break the secondary market?
There's no details.
That's it, George.
All right.
That's that moonshot I heard about.
What's next? Lorcana? Are we already on Lorcana? We don't have much to talk about. Gokana. George, I don't know what this one is. Lorcana tourney change.
You're really doing a great job this week, Lee.
I wanted to predict.
You're really nailing it.
Hey, I will be your. Let me have it, baby. Let me have it. Let's go.
So Gokana is changing some of their tournament. What they're basically trying to do is get out the scrubs early. It's going to go to
terrible take.
Why? That's what they're trying to do.
This is such a bad take. Love it. Love it.
They're going to do, instead of a 3-game set, they're doing a 2-game. It's basically, and you get an extra point if you win both games to move on. This is meant to make the tournaments more casual, especially in the beginning. Getting curb stomped a bunch of times doesn't feel super good. And so it's a way to make it so that people who are just there for the good times and to have some fun and not super competitive, they can play a couple games and then get out.
Why do you want that in your competitive tournament?
I don't think MetaZoo. MetaZoo. I don't think Lorcana has. I'm looking at the Flatwoods monster. I don't think they want super competitive tournaments. I don't think that's what they're going for. I think at the very top tier they're going to have that, right? At the super top tier,
not if they have this as their top tier level.
But it's also open enrollment, right? It's not like a tournament. It's not a championship. You don't have to win something to get invited to this. Donald can sign up and go in.
Yeah, and Donald in the first round is going to get someone who's there receiving a very different message, and regardless of how you structure this, that person is not going to have a good time.
No, I mean,
Donald,
listen, like a skill difference in TCGs is a real problem for every TCG. And like, you know, I think getting people who are not super competitive in and out quickly is a good move.
You just contradicted yourself.
I think it's
getting people who aren't competitive out of the turning over is a super good move. That's what you said. What they are doing here is making it less competitive in the rounds.
I'd rather host separate events. Have a casual for fun.
I think they could get there. I think
you have a better chance. You have a better chance with this of your non-competitive players who are now playing ruining the day for a competitive player who is playing in the event because of the structure.
Why?
Because there's variance in card games?
Yeah, because you've now made it easier for a non-competitive player to come to the event and to play in the event. And
No. It has nothing to do with admissions. This has nothing to do with admissions. The same people can show up. It's open enrollment, baby. As long as you get yourself a ticket, you can go play Lorcana.
Right, but the understanding is you get yourself a ticket to a major one of these events, you're doing it to compete.
I don't think that's true. I don't think that's true.
Then why are you doing
it? You want the promo, you want to have fun, you want to play with friends.
But you went to
a Magic convention. I didn't see either of you bozos playing the 70K.
Okay, but so now Donald shows up. Shout out to Donald. Donald shows up.
Wait. Best friend Donald. Continue.
Best friend Donald shows up. Great card player. Best card player I know.
Best friend, best card player. Double best. He
shows up.
Yep.
He gets paired with you, who show up, and you don't even really know how you're playing.
Excuse me?
How to play.
Excuse me?
No, that's a fair take.
You take an hour to play your first 4 turns. Now Donald gets a tie because of the system. And
that would happen under the old system too. That doesn't.
Not if you could just win one game.
No. Right, but now that's going to happen more often because, like you said, the way you phrased it was beginner people, casual people feel more welcome to enter this event. They feel more comfortable taking that seat.
I don't think they're gonna. I think that Lorcana is aiming for a casual gameplay, and that's where they're going to find their. That's where they're going to find their success.
That's great. Then they shouldn't do high end tournaments.
Yeah,
I don't think they're doing high end tournaments. Like, what's the prize? What's the prize in the tournament?
I mean, they have promo cards. There's some for $1,000. Like,
yeah, I mean, it's a promo card. Like, they're not like giving out. They're not writing you a check. I mean, it's it's a promo card.
I think they will have cash. I mean, there was a 5K.
I think they will. I don't think it's going to be but I don't think it was an official event, was it?
Most of those 5Ks, 10Ks are not like Ravensburger run.
Yeah, I mean, I think Lorcana is trying very hard to make this a casual game. I think this feeds into that. If people want to play a hyper competitive game, I think I'd look elsewhere.
That's fair. You can look at Star Wars.
Yeah, the second boxes come back in December. You guys can look at Star Wars and see what's going on.
You can look at Sorcery.
I know we haven't talked about Star Wars in a little while.
And apparently,
I wonder why.
We're going to talk about Star Wars every week.
That's Josh's channel.
Hometown TCG.
Homertown.
YouTube.com/Hometown TCG.
I guess I don't think they want the hyper competitiveness, and I don't think they should. I don't think that's their market.
I think that's. I disagree with that.
Let the bozos fight over the hyper competitive nonsense. Let Lorcana take the casual players. I think that's big brain.
I don't think their market is hyper competitive. I think the point is that if you are going to be a TCG, you are going to have a hyper competitive market, and I don't.
There will certainly be some sharks in there. No question.
I don't think that this makes that a good experience, which then is a negative to the overall.
I don't know why you think it
Lorcana
makes it a worse experience for anybody. Like, who do you think it makes it a worse experience for?
Both the fish and the sharks.
Yeah.
How?
It would be much. I don't know if I can say it again. You have a round where you have some variance in TCGs, and a fish can trip over itself and knock out a shark and ruin the shark's day.
Me and Donald have our decks, and I beat Donald.
There is a universe of which you are not good enough at playing that you slow Donald down, so the game slow down so much that you guys tie.
But that does not change in this. That has not changed in this.
It does. If you would listen, if you would listen to us, when you make it easier for a casual person to get
more
into
welcoming, not easier. If you make it more welcoming, more inviting, you give them the confidence to enter that event.
Clearly, they had 20,000 people trying to sign up. There's plenty of people with confidence enough. They had 20,000 people trying to sign up, including Mr. Beast. Clearly, people are confident enough.
Were you at his computer?
I should have been
trying to sign up.
In that
Josh,
thing.
Josh, what do you think about the 2-game thing rather than best of 3?
Listen, it's weird. It doesn't make any sense,
isn't it?
Yes. I want to hone it in on Josh's take as a competitive card player. I'm curious on his take.
When's the last time Josh played a competitive card game?
I don't care about your take, George.
I grind the arena ladder every month, my friend. I enter the qualifier every single month.
When's the last time you won one?
Never.
That's the competitive player.
You get people like LSV winning those. That's not the Josh, buddy.
Throwing bows today.
That is not the Josh winning those events, my friend. Listen, it's gonna shake things up, and I know they want to do something different. There are certain. I think they should have kept it best of 3. I think they should have. I don't see any reason to do this. This is
Bob Iger gets
and listen, if you're taking competitive TCG tournament structure advice from George, you're good at a lot of things, buddy. You're great at a lot of things.
George did not recommend this.
No, George is supporting it.
You're damn right. Damn right.
Well, here we are. Now we've gone full circle.
I want to criticize Star Wars too, because I think Star Wars also has this issue. The gameplay, and I think Lorcana in a lot of ways has this issue. The gameplay of these games takes so. I think, frankly, Sorcery is going to run into this issue too. Yeah. The gameplay of these games taking so long makes it hard for tournaments like this when you can't really get 3 games in 55 minutes. Like it makes
it quicker though. Why isn't this good for that? This makes it quicker.
It makes
There's
it quicker,
2 games, not 3 games.
I agree.
This
it makes it quicker. Quicker is not necessarily better in this.
Didn't you just say that the problem will be that these games are too slow? They make it faster, and you're like, well,
the solution to that is not to make it more of a like random element to it. Like not being able to play that 3rd game is important.
What do you think the answer is?
If you go 1-1,
what do you think the answer is then?
To make your gameplay quicker, like a quicker gameplay, more streamlined. Like
it's also to create an environment where people who play quickly play against one another, who have the experience, who aren't just there because they've played 2 games and want the promo card. There's a space for that. There's a wonderful space for that, and it's important for TCGs. I just don't think this is the space for that. That's all the argument is for that.
I don't want to do it. I'm going to do it. I frankly think that another game does it really well, where you present your deck before the round goes, and it should be best of 1, and you can sideboard in right there. It's a best of 1 game. It's not that you have to win 2, whatever. It's a best of 1 game. You present your sideboard, and that is the round. I think that is a really good way to do it. That is a better way than what Lorcana is doing.
So best of 1 is less variation than 2 games.
Yeah, because you can sideboard out.
That makes sense to me. So there's less games and less variation. That makes sense. Nailed it. Great take.
Because you operate that 1 game with more information.
Yeah. George,
they can do that there. They can have the sideboard there. Like you can't argue for less. You can't argue that you want less variation than go best of 1.
You being on the side of defending your take when you obviously don't know anything about
I'm nailing this. You guys are wild. You want it to be faster, and you want less variation.
Buddy, you got
to pick a poison.
You are warming up for the MetaZoo minute or something, because you
got to pick a poison.
Wildly cannot believe that this is happening right now.
Let's move on. Let's get to our predictions. We have release week next week of the next set. Ursula's Revenge.
Please,
Return,
Bob. Please,
whatever
Bob.
It is.
Please, Bob. Please, Bob. Please, Bob.
How does this go? How does this go? How does the market react to
amazingly? Because Bob Iger's GOAT.
This is the cheapest box by far. This ends up being the cheapest box by far, and that's not a negative thing. But this is just how the market.
This will feel like a normal release.
Ooh, it'll feel for Lorcana.
No. This will feel like a normal Magic release. Like the boxes will hit at $105, $110 as my get.
Yeah, this is gonna feel like a subpar Magic release.
I mean, like, isn't it feel like the attendees are over? I think that's good. Like, the people want. I know. Again, there's only one game that says the best way to grow the game is not to have boxes printed. I mean, like, if they want to grow Goat Kana, they're gonna have boxes printed.
Look at you lash out, buddy.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. Also, Star Wars. I'm sorry.
Afraid of set 4.
I'm sorry. There's 2 games that believe the best way to grow the game is to not have boxes.
Terrified of set 4. Is this Louis? This is a little vision of what you are like after the sorcery section most of the time.
He must have paid for his Lorcana today or something. Because he's a little on edge.
I haven't had to pay for it yet.
He's a little
Bob Iger hasn't returned my text.
He's a little on edge.
I need you.
He's a little on edge. I think this looks like a Pokemon release.
No.
God, I
you
hope
think
it
it's
does.
Lower cost,
buddy. I will have.
That would be a Magic release. You actually said worse because Magic releases are the ones that go below our cost.
Buddy, I have all of the data, and if it looks like a Pokemon release, I will be the first to tell you so you can jump on it.
I think no universe.
Oh, I think this is going to be a Pokemon.
Oh,
Bob Iger, I believe in you with the force. My better judgment. Don't do this to me.
Listen. I think you're gonna have like TCG players gonna hit about 95, and then it'll start.
I think we see sub. I think we see sub 100 boxes. But I want to point out, I don't think that's like this hyper negative thing.
I want to be very clear. I think it will rebound. I think it'll rebound up, and I don't think we'll see a huge resupply after this wave. I think they will back away from the resupply. They
seem to be limiting that pretty heavily all of a sudden.
Yeah, I think this will rebound quickly. I think it'll be unlike a Pokemon release where it doesn't rebound for 3 years. I think it'll rebound quickly. I don't want to get into the numbers again. You guys don't listen, but it'll rebound quickly. But I think this will be a pretty.
What set did I send you that they reprinted from 4 years ago this week?
They put the boxes were available for 30 seconds, George. They were available for 30 seconds. Yeah, that happens all the time.
Excuses are like butts.
I want you guys to go look at the Sword and Shield era prices and then send me a text later and apologize.
I love that every time they go up, we do the Pokemon topics. Then when they go down, we never talk about it again.
We're not doing
Pokemon, works, buddy.
Pokemon's pumping. Pokemon's pumping right now.
That's why you're talking about it.
You guys brought it up.
That's why you're talking about it.
I said Lorcana was going to look bad like a Pokemon release. I was negative. You guys got all defensive.
No, you said until 3 years. You said it's going to look bad like a Pokemon release, and then you threw your little, a little jab here.
Come on, Louie, be better.
Whatever. All right, George, you want to welcome in our guest as I try to get them into.
Books.
We have a guest. We have an important guest.
We have.
Yes.
Are you doing the video thing, Louie, or no?
Yeah, I got it. What do you mean the video thing? What does that mean?
Adding them to the screen.
I am doing it. That you were supposed to be stalling so that I could do that.
Welcome to Andrew Smith's TCG podcast. I am, of course, joined by the Flatwood himself, Andrew.
No, stop. You can't say that, Dick.
What?
You can't introduce him as the Flatwood.
What the hell was that?
Especially
I didn't think of that. Sorry, Andrew.
Hold on. I got to get him on. I don't know why this didn't work how I thought it was going to work.
You're doing great, Louie.
No.
All right, everyone, before we get to this part of the podcast, let me just apologize. We had some internet issues once Andrew got here, so this will be a little bit choppy of last half of this episode, but we still thought it was really cool to chat with Andrew Smith from the Flatwoods Monster Museum to give a different perspective of MetaZoo, of what could have been with MetaZoo, and Andrew's been watching the podcast for a long time, so it was a lot of fun to chat with him and hang out with him. So I just wanted to say there is some issue with the internet connection. We had to clock him out, and then we had to bring him on just via phone. So just so you know, it's a little bit different than we typically have, but I hope you still enjoy it, and thank you so much for watching the episode all the way through and up to this point. Hopefully you have yourself a great day, be kind to the people around you, and enjoy the rest of this episode.
Whoa. Welcome to MetaZoo Be With You, America's most Andrew Smith TCG podcast. I'm, of course, joined by Mr. Flatwood himself, Andrew.
You can't call him that. That's terrible.
Yeah, you screwed it up twice. You went 0 for 2.
Yeah, I nailed it twice. Put hashtag George nailed it in the comment section after you buy your booster snacks.
Mr. Flatwood. God, what a terrible way to greet a guest.
It's from West Virginia. I'm supporting your state's monsters.
You don't have to punish him further.
That's fair. That's
oh, what is up, Andrew? Longtime listener of the podcast, and
long time, first time. Our first long time, first time.
Yeah,
first. I don't know. The Banana Man kind of was.
That's true.
I think you've been listening longer than the Banana Man.
I've been listening to Mitch.
Since when?
Wow, rest in power since Mitch.
Yep. Wow, that
rest
is
in power.
A lot longer than Banana Man. Banana Man did not listen to Mitch.
Which one's that? Is that less attractive me?
Yeah, that was Josh 1.0.
It was Team Covenant 1.0.
All right, Andrew, tell us who you are, what you do, and what that giant ass thing behind you is.
So, my name is Andrew Smith. I run the Flatwoods Monster Museum located in Sutton, West Virginia, about 2-hour drive away from gamergrove.gg.
Love it.
And let's see, we've been here for about 5 years.
Oh, cool.
And I've been hey, they made it. Yay. And I've been a MetaZoo collector for now maybe 2 years or so.
So we're gonna get into the MetaZoo drama in a minute, and I want to I flagged this for you that I had one question for you that I wanted answered, which is like, who hurt you into still buying MetaZoo? But we'll discuss that in a minute. Tell me about the Flatwood Museum. Tell me why, like, why, like, what, like, you know, what, like, why is there a Flatwood Museum?
Tell us about the museum. Let's tell everybody about the Flatwoods Monster, because I'm guessing that the average viewer doesn't know what the Flatwoods Monster is.
Then sign off the podcast. If you don't know what it is, you don't belong on this podcast.
So the Flatwoods Monster is a West Virginia legend that was supposedly seen in the town of Flatwoods, which is just a couple miles north of here. And on September 12th, 1952, it was seen by a group of 7 witnesses. 5 children and 2 adults. The oldest person in the group was 32, and the youngest person was 9 years old. So
that's not great.
Were they a family?
Yeah. So
God, please let them be a family.
They all did drugs together, and they saw this monster. I'll help you.
So Kathleen May was the main adult and the person that was interviewed the most back in the 50s. And so she was 32 at the time. And 2 of the boys that were with her were her sons, Eddie and Fred May. And it was their friend group were playing outside, and they see this object come through the sky and appear to land on a nearby hill. So the 2 boys and their 3 buddies went to run up the hill to see what it was that they saw, and they happened to live along the route. So they stopped into their house, talked to Kathleen, told them what they were doing, and she thought that adults should come with them, as well as her cousin
to get me.
Yeah, so her cousin that lived next door, she grabbed him too, and he was the other adult, Gene Lemon. So the 7 of them go trekking off onto this little farm nearby, and before they could get to the top of the hill, they were greeted in the woods by the Flatwoods Monster, as you can see depicted behind me. Shout out to the Spotify listeners. It was
God, he's a regular. This is great.
This is awesome.
It was described as being tall, have a large red face with yellow glowing eyes, and a really characteristic spade shape that's behind its head. Nobody got hurt in the encounter or anything like that, but it's still, it became international news within 2 weeks.
Is that true?
Okay.
Yeah. That's our claim to fame.
So where do you stand on believing in the Flatwoods Monster?
It depends when you ask me. So I knew Freddie May, who was one of the witnesses, really well. He actually just passed away last year, whenever he was 82. And so he was 82 or 81 when he passed away, and he was 11 when he saw the monster. So he never changed his story. If you would ask him, he wouldn't be able to tell you. I mean, he could describe what he saw, but he couldn't tell you what it was. It's everybody else that has turned it into either an alien specifically or some other sort of creature. He can just describe what he saw, and the only thing he knows is that he didn't know what it was.
Mm-hmm.
Can I pause here to give you a wild amount of credit?
Yeah,
you know more about this situation than I know about anything else.
You know more about Flatwood Monster than all three of us combined know about TCGs.
That was like, I sit here and I feel informed, and that was crazy. That knowledge, oh my God, that's insane, man.
So
Louis, where do you stand on this? Like, you are a proud West Virginian.
Listen, I am way more a believer in the Mothman than the Flatwoods Monster.
So, like, Andrew, do you believe in the Mothman, or is that like some random hate? The Mothman got him.
So in Chicago,
he left. He was like,
F the Mothman.
He's like, I came on your podcast, and you
bring up that fake nonsense to me. You bring up that fake Mothman to me. How dare you? You're
still buying MetaZoo. Tell us what got you into buying MetaZoo. Actually, no. First, before that, I wanted to ask a question. When MetaZoo came out with, "Hey, we have the Flatwoods Monster," how did you find it? Like, what did you connect with it?
Well, so actually, somebody from MetaZoo actually reached out, and it may have been Mike, but I'm not 100% sure. But to be honest with you, we actually get reached out to a lot for people saying they're doing this and that with the Flatwoods Monster, and in a lot of cases, it seldom really goes anywhere. Like, somebody will tell me about a book that they're writing, and it's something that they're going to self-publish, and it'll get on Amazon, and they'll sell, 5 to 20 copies. Like, just most projects that people that different individuals or folks like that tell me about, they usually don't. I don't want to say they don't amount to much, but they're just usually not that big. They're not that big of a deal. They're usually small,
right?
So to be honest, right at the beginning, I didn't think a whole lot about it. And then what made me start thinking about MetaZoo more is my daughter, who's now 8. Whenever she was like 5, I can't really remember exactly, but she found some of my brother-in-law's old Pokemon cards at his grandma's house, and so she got really into Pokemon. So her getting into Pokemon kind of got me looking at cards. So then I started looking at MetaZoo again. So that's what got me back into MetaZoo, is my little girl getting into Pokemon.
Oh, that's awesome. And then you started, did you guys, I guess you didn't do anything significant with MetaZoo, right? Did you guys try to do any of that, or we just never had the opportunity to, and then obviously they've gone under?
Right. Maybe. So early on, once it was really picking up steam, and then I started noticing a lot more, which if I would have been smart and got in a lot earlier, maybe this would have been easier. But by the time I really started paying attention, I would communicate stuff like, I would really like to, sell MetaZoo. I would like to have like stuff like on the walls, and even like on the window that like said, something about MetaZoo. Because at that point I'd kind of come all in. And that didn't really go anywhere. And then I kind of didn't really pursue selling MetaZoo through the direct route, because you have to be a store and like run events and things. But what we actually started doing, and I thought you guys would find this really interesting, is I actually started selling MetaZoo Cryptid Nation 2 by the booster pack, and still do. I got a decent inventory in the back, and so far, since I first started selling them, starting in 2022, I've sold 987 packs, so about 28 booster boxes worth.
Wow,
that's impressive.
Once I actually looked it up, I don't know if that's a lot, but it felt like a lot.
That's pretty impressive. That's
more than Louis sold.
That's more than either of us sold, I think. of CN2.
Really?
No.
Wow. And then you guys also might find this interesting too. So people would, of course, assume, like if they weren't well versed in TCGs, they would assume that you buy a pack of cards and the Flatwoods Monster's in it. So I would have to explain to them, or whoever's working would have to explain, like, it's a random pack of cards. You could open up a whole booster box and not pull a Flatwoods Monster. So what we started doing is actually on the secondary market, buying up Flatwoods Monster cards and reselling them.
Yeah.
So if you've ever actually looked to, if you've ever wondered why there's like zero supply of Flatwoods monster cards from Cryptid Nation 2. That's why I bought them all.
Well, it makes sense. I mean, that's a huge market for the Flatwoods monster card, and that's one of the things I always thought MetaZoo would do a better job of leaning into. But it's kind of sad that it seems like they didn't really connect the dots with you over there.
Well, I think by the time I was touching base with them, I think it already gotten to, and and I don't want to dump on MetaZoo. I don't know what happened in the background, but I just think by the time I was wanting to come aboard, they had so many irons in the fire. I don't think it would be really easy to pay attention to me.
Yeah,
and that's not it's no big deal on my end. But so talking about singles in that same amount of time frame, which I didn't start selling singles until quite a bit after, because it became so common, but I have sold 787 singles.
Oh my gosh. That's insane. That is so
impressive.
awesome.
That's wild.
That is awesome.
So that's why I personally don't have a big Flatwoods monster collection, because I sell them all.
Right.
But I do actually have I have a kind of a big MetaZoo collection, but a very specific MetaZoo collection. And I actually tried to go through my collection to have stats for you if you guys were interested, because I know George just couldn't believe that people would still buy MetaZoo.
Yeah, that's correct.
And I still do. I still actively buy and collect.
Yeah,
ask him why.
Yeah, and this is George wants to know this question. Why are you still actively buying MetaZoo? Is it that you believe in it, or what's the reason that you still actually buy MetaZoo?
Well, I just I've just fallen in love with it. I really like them. One of the props that I had set aside that I was going to show you, should my connection hold up, is one of my favorite cards is from Nightfall, and it's a bronze card of the Air Rods card, and it's because it was like a very little known cryptid for such a long time. I had watched an Unsolved Mysteries on it whenever I was a kid, and it captivated my imagination from then on, and I hadn't seen anything else that had to do with air rods until Monster Quest, and that turned out to be the only episode of Monster Quest where they solved anything. So they figured out what air rods were. So but I'm still really into them. So of just the regular Nightfall bronze card of air rods, I have 120 some of them, just for fun.
Yeah.
If I'm buying from somebody and they have a supply, I throw them on the thing on TCG Player. And I also own 10 of the play testers. I just like them. I just like owning them, and I'll get my box out and just look at them. And I collect a lot of graded stuff, a decent amount of signed stuff.
Wow.
And things like that, and weird stuff. I just found a card on eBay the other day that was a Bigfoot card from the Wilderness set that was both credited to Afton and Jet Yates. I'm sorry, Jet Yates. And whenever I met Jet Yates and Afton at the Mothman Festival last year, I wanted them both to sign my Bigfoot card, but Afton had stopped signing Wilderness stuff. And this card was signed by both of them, but Afton's signature, I guess somebody had touched the card or done something to the card way too early, and it's all but wiped off.
Yeah.
But since I own some stuff signed by her, I could tell that's what it was, and the seller didn't know that's what it was. And I think I snagged it for $4.
Yeah.
So that's kind of why I'm into it. You guys are always talking about different ways to get into TCGs on the cheap. And that's another bonus, is I'm a cheapskate. So you can really buy cool MetaZoo stuff for not very much money.
Yeah, you can make a lot of money off of buying $10 CN2 boxes right now and sell them in the Flatwoods Monster Museum.
Right. It's like Dust Loop. It's the Dust Loop all over again.
Maybe 30 booster boxes, because I went crazy buying them whenever they hit $20.
Yeah.
I just thought, no, there's no lower than this. So, and maybe they're lower now, but yeah, because that's the difference between this place and an LGS.
Right.
Is an LGS is kind of all about that new hotness, and it has to compete with Magic and Pokemon and stuff like that. But here, it's not competing with anything.
Yeah.
It's it's the main attraction. And when people see that we have them, and in our display, I have like a kind of a little MetaZoo display that basically features everything that I've been able to get my hands on that's Flatwoods Monster related and have it on display. So people see that, and I hear, like, every time a family comes in here with kids, I hear somebody say, "Look, a Pokemon card with the Flatwoods Monster."
Oh, that's awesome.
And then I know before they leave, they're buying a pack, they're buying a couple packs, they're buying one of the singles, because they can't help it.
Right.
And it's a lot of, it's a lot of people that already like Pokemon. So another thing I wanted to mention to you all too, is you guys are always talking about, and maybe it's completely accurate, but that nobody plays Pokemon, they just collect it.
Mm-hmm.
I don't collect Pokemon at all. My wife and my two daughters, and also some extended family, have now all started collecting Pokemon as a result of my little girl getting interested in Pokemon.
Right.
But anyway, I don't collect Pokemon at all, but I play Pokemon a lot.
Huh.
I
Ask if he plays Cryptic.
George wants to know if you play Cryptic.
I've the only experience I have with you guys talking about it.
He's got to know it's the best box ever.
That's
But
good.
only through your guys' conversation.
Yeah.
You and everybody else.
George is in a grumpy mood today. He's just being George. Well,
I'm sick. What do you idiots want from me?
I love that story, and I love that you still have a place for MetaZoo. And maybe if our viewers have any Flatwoods Monsters cards that they want to send over to you, what's do you guys have a PO box or something that they can send you cards?
Well, we've got a street address, but really nobody needs to send us cards. I mean, keep them. We've got plenty. And once the well completely dries out of Flatwoods Monster cards, I'll just stop selling singles. It's no big deal. I just have been doing it just to do it.
Send them your cards, people. Send him your cards. Don't listen to him. Send him your cards.
You got nothing better to do.
He's going to appreciate them way more than you will.
You guys hear him? He goes, "Send me your air rods. That's what I want."
There you go. I like that.
Particular card, and that's the Shock Aura card, and the art itself features the Flatwoods Monster, and I think I've got over 50 of those Kickstarter cards.
Dang.
So I'm trying to get. So if anybody wants to send those,
I'll
take those. But just know they're not going on display. They're going in my collection.
There you go. Well, dude, thank you so much for hopping on with us.
Where can people find you?
What do you have a website or something that people could go find?
Yeah. So funny enough, they can go to braxtonwv.org/may the zoo be with you.
Love it.
That's awesome.
That worked well for Booster Snacks. It might work well for you too.
You really don't know how close I came to buying gamergrove.gg.
Me too.
It's still available, and you really need to buy it, because for as much as George says it, somebody's going to scoop it up.
100%.
Going to bite you in the butt.
I honestly thought about it too.
That's good. Good stuff. All right, dude. Well, we'll finish up the podcast. We appreciate you. Thanks for
very informative. Thank you.
And it was a lot of fun chatting with you.
Well, thank you. Same to you. And if you guys would want to try to do a repeat, I'm happy to try to find better internet. But if not, that's perfectly fine too. So thanks for having me on, and I'll let you all go.
Thanks, man. Have a good day.
Thanks, bud.
Thanks, you too.
All right.
That was great.
Where do we follow that?
Learned a lot about creatures from West Virginia, not just Louis. Learned about popular creatures from West Virginia.
I think it's amazing that there's that niche within a niche within a niche.
It makes me so angry at what MetaZoo could have been.
You have the TCG niche, then you have like indie TCG niche, then you have MetaZoo niche, then you have somebody who is moving that amount of product in singles in a Flatwoods monster niche.
It's like, it's one of those moments where you're like, that's what MetaZoo should have been.
Yeah, they should have connected with. I tried to connect them with the Mothman Museum guys. You know that the Mothman Festival here, there's like 12,000 people in the town that show up to walk the streets of the Mothman Museum for 3 days. Like, it's insane. These little niche cultures that get created. People come from literally all around the country to the Mothman Museum for it. It's crazy.
So, Louis, do you believe in the Mothman?
No.
Are you saying
Really, of all your conspiracy
I
theories,
believe in
that's where you draw
Bigfoot.
the line.
There we go.
I believe in Bigfoot. The Mothman is.
Is it me? Is it just me?
Actually, there's a great podcast called Blurry. It's called Blurry Creatures, and they go into all this stuff, and it's super good. It's a great podcast.
That 100% passes my smell test.
100%. 100%.
Yeah. Anyway,
That was great.
yeah, that's good.
Yep.
Next week we'll try to get into a little bit of the MetaZoo drama that's been going on.
Yeah, we should add that we're filming this on Tuesday. So far, all we've heard is a bunch of like
Hearsay.
random poo-poo throwing against everybody, to everybody, from everybody, to everybody. I have a lot of thoughts on it, and I promise you we're not dodging it. We will absolutely really get into it next week.
We also want to let things play out a little bit too. Like there's an element of information.
It is.
My guess is that most people don't know what we're talking about, and
My
that
guess is
they're
if you're
like,
listening
"What?"
to this podcast.
Oh, then listen, if you don't know what we're talking about, you need to tune in next week, because I don't know if there's a more exciting story in TCGs right now.
100%.
I honestly don't know if there's a more
Literally,
exciting
more
unfolding.
exciting than this. I'm so bored of
That
the
is
MetaZoo
not
crap.
true.
That is not true at all.
That is not true.
This
What
is-
happened to the old Louis, the one that loved the drama? What
Take
happened to
your
the drama,
favorite,
Louis?
take your favorite sitcom's best season,
Yeah.
put it in a bottle, and wrap it in cardboard.
Get up.
You've got whatever's going on
This is
right
dead
now.
drama. This is pointless.
That's the
meaningless.
best kind of drama.
In a
This is-
sitcom, you know the ending. You know they're going to end up together.
This is
You know how
completely
it
dead
works.
drama.
Yeah, it's gonna. Yeah, the game. Yeah, of course, MetaZoo said. Like we know that, but the journey. It's the friends we made along the way.
It's the sponsors we made along the way.
They did not sponsor the MetaZoo segment. I can tell you that.
All right, everyone. Thank you for watching, for listening, for being here. We appreciate you all. Sorry, this episode was a little
Would you
convoluted.
like a discount for chips somewhere, Louis?
Oh,
A little
yeah,
reminder
use
for a
the
discount
code-
for chips.
Collect50 at boostersnacksus.com.
Oh, okay. And like
Yes,
you
is
said,
it-
like your normal remedies, right?
You could also go subscribe to Josh's channel over at Kitchen or Hometown
Wow.
TCG. Josh, you remember when somebody
You can subscribe to my channel at Hometown
Did we
TCG,
ever
and you can
talk
watch
about
my
the time-
content 2 days later at Kitchen Table
Do you remember
TCG.
talk about the time when Josh and I were walking through at MagicCon and somebody was like, "Are you two the guys from Hometown TCG?"
That was the best. That was the best. My life ended. I almost quit YouTube. I was like, it's never going to get any better than this. He then asked me to guess the card, win the card. It was crazy.
Is that true?
Yeah, that 100% happened.
No. I believe like the Hometown TCG. Did he ask you to guess the card, win the card?
No, not at all.
Oh, that's too bad.
And then go KitchenTableTCG.com, get in the Discord server, and support the channel that way as well. Have yourselves a great day. Remember to be kind to the people around you, and may the Flatwoods monster be with you.
And the booster snacks with you.
I'm running low on snackies.